Howdy y'all. This evening I'm going to teach you how to play my version of the tune Needlecase. Now this tune is out of double C tuning, which starting from the 5th string down to the 1st is G, C, G, C, D. So I'll go ahead and play through the tune and then we'll try to break it down. So in a nutshell, that is the tune Needlecase. Now I begin that tune off like I do most other fiddle tunes by putting taters on the front of it. That's what I've always been around people that called that lick taters, and that's the rhythm setting lick. Now you can, depending on if you're going to start the tune off kind of quicker like I did, you could use this version of taters, which is, I'll go ahead and show you how to do it real quick. I anchor into the C chord, which is the 1st string at the 2nd fret, and I use my pinky on the 3rd string and slide from the 4th to the 5th. And then there's a pull off in it, and that sets you up to It would be good to practice that lick because it really helps with your right hand timing. And there's another version of taters that I use sometimes that is more of a laid back kind of chill, you know, rhythm starter, and it goes. But for now, we'll just stick with the first one, which is because that's more of a standard bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy bum diddy kind of pattern versus the other one has some double thumbing in it. So moving on into the melody of the tune, it starts out on the 5th fret of the 1st string. That's kind of the first little phrase. So that goes from the 5th fret down to the 3rd fret, down to the 2nd fret, and then pulls off, and then goes into that F chord. So again slowly. That's now I tend to use my striking finger kind of like a guitar pick, and will use that for a lot because I don't drop thumb in any of my playing, so I kind of make up for it with doubling up on my striking finger and then adding in hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff in various places. But once you get that lick, it goes straight back into and then ends on the third string. So all the way through, it's actually got a extra rhythm in there in between starting that melody again. So up to that point, it's the exact same as the first phrase, but then it ends up on that third string, and it goes on the second fret, pulls off to open, back to the second fret, to the fourth fret, to open. So that's and then it does another. So from there all the way through, and then it does the first phrase again. And then for the last kind of tag lick on that, to rush the melody along a little bit, I do a and that ends up on the fourth string. So I'll try to break that down. So that's the way that the A part, that is one full section of the A part, and then it repeats all of that again before moving into the B part. So after you go, so that triplet there is on the third string, and you only hit the third string one time with your striking finger. That's triplet. And then it ends on the second string open, triplet. And then it goes to a pull off from the second fret. Or something like that. So after that triplet again, just kind of and on that fourth string, that lick, it's a pull off from the fourth fret to open on the fourth string, and then you fret the second fret, 4th string, and then hammer on to the 4th fret, back to the 2nd fret, and open. So that full A part again is and then that just repeats itself, and then it moves into the B part. So now I'll kind of talk about a few little, I don't know what you would call them, frills that you can throw in on, instead of just playing the same melody and starting off on that. You can actually, on that 2nd time that you go up to the 5th fret, you can slide into it. And I like to do a lot of brushes in this tune, like kind of, don't be afraid to be dramatic with your playing. Dynamics are what really give you the depth of tuning. You know, play softer and play harder, and vary your volume throughout the melody to kind of, to give it some dynamics. So you slide you slide from the 3rd fret of the 1st string up to the 5th. In that brush, you can, instead of if you can hear much of the difference in that, but it adds a little something to slide in. And then on the F shape, you can actually slide into, just move that whole F shape. You start at the 1st fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1st string, and then slide. So you could go, kind of gives it a little jazz or something. But anyway, moving on to the B part. It starts off by going, so most of that is on the 4th and 3rd strings. So coming out of the A part, it would be like, so that's the first part of the B part. And that's just a hammer on to the 4th string, 4th fret. So kind of, and that motion is really important in this B part. It's used other places, so if you could sit and go, people crazy whenever they listen to me practice, because I'll sometimes sit and practice a lick for a very long time like this. So once you get through that, in the B part it goes, and then hits the 4th string on the 5th fret, and then 3rd string open, hammer onto the 2nd. So does that same lick after that. So and then it goes back to the 5th fret on the 4th string, and then walks down to that G chord, and the G chord is 4th string 2nd fret, 2nd string 2nd fret. So again, that's and it's all the same up to that point, and then it goes up to the 2nd and 1st strings. So I'll play through the beginning of the B part again, and then kind of play slowly how it ends up on the 1st string. So and then that would be the end of the first part of the full 2 B's that go on the end of that. So that whole thing would repeat itself again, and then it would go back to the A part and repeat the A part twice, A A B B A A B B. You know, as it progresses, it just repeats and repeats and repeats, unless you want to mix it up like I said. So again, that B part I'll work up to the point that I've not broke down, and then kind of slow down and explain it. And then once you get to that point, it goes hammer on, well, so that's on the 3rd string, and then you're hammering onto the 2nd fret, and then following up with a open 2nd string, and then a 5th string, of course. And that's a really useful lick for other tunes too, like Ducks on the Mill Pond and other kind of happy sounding double C tunes. So that's just hammer on to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. Well, you hit it open first, and then that's 2nd fret 1st string, and you pull off to open. 2nd string open again, and then 1st string 2nd fret, 1st string open, 2nd string open. And then of course it would theoretically you could play it indefinitely. But I don't know that you would want to though. So a few things that you can actually do to spice up that B part. I'll sometimes, you can use that full, just like we slid up with that F chord, you can slide into that G or walk down and then use the full chord shape from 5th, 4th, 2nd. So like, so I think that fits in there pretty good. But other than that, you know, all of this music is really up for interpretation, because a lot of these tunes, there's not a lot of documentation of them. This tune, I've not been able to figure out who actually wrote it, but I think the dude that made it a well-known song was a Tennessean banjo player that his name was Sam McGee, I think, and he actually played fingerstyle. He didn't play clawhammer, but somehow this tune has really become a prominent tune to hear in jam sessions and hearing it online, and it's a beautiful melody and a really fun tune to play, and it has a lot of the foundations for moving on and playing something a little bit more complicated than this, you know, like Wandering Boy. Wandering Boy has a lot of similar licks and, you know, structural stuff as what Needlecase does. So I guess the law of averages, I guess the more tunes you learn, the more tunes you're going to be able to learn, because you'll be able to pick and choose little pieces of each individual tune and transfer them from one to another. And you know, you might find something in Angeline the Baker that sounds good in Spotted Pony, and then you think that sounds good in Spotted Pony, and you take both pieces of that with a piece of Spotted Pony and throw it into Wandering Boy or any other number of tunes. So Needlecase is a very good tune. This is my first lesson. I've really tried to shoot semi-professionally. I bought a green screen and I'm testing it with this, and y'all have to forgive me. I hope that you learned something, and I'll try to post more of these as time goes on. But anyway, y'all have a good one and keep on picking.